Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is April 17th, 2023. The Cardinals, as we sit right now, are 7-10 in last place in the NL Central after another rough loss at home.
Yeah, the losses at home are weird. Obviously, last year they were one of the better home teams in baseball, if I remember correctly. Can I start this off by bringing some positivity? Couple of things, but I'll start with this.
Hold on. Let me answer your rhetorical question with an actual answer. Yes, because I cannot handle Twitter any longer. Like, my thoughts on a lot of that anyway. So, I needed to get away, watch Succession. Okay. Now I'm ready for some optimism.
All right, so coming into the season, we are expected the Padres, Dodgers, Astros, and Phillies to all not only be in the playoffs, right? To be legitimate World Series contenders, all four, right?
Correct.
Like if you were to pick 8 teams that were likely to make the playoffs, all 4 of those teams would have been one
correct
in the pick. They're all either at 500 or below 500 as we speak right now.
Yeah.
So I think what happens, and this happens to all of us, we watch the Cardinals every day. So that you focus on what's happening with them. But if I were to go up to a Cardinal fan and say, hey, the Astros are 8-9. What do you think? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? You look at me like I was crazy and be like, of course they're going to make the fucking playoffs.
Right.
So you get in this little problem where you're in this bubble focusing on what the Cardinals are doing. Why do we forget every year that struggles are a part of the game that we love? Why do we just forget it?
Well, can I answer your second rhetorical question with an actual answer?
No, that's an actual question.
I do believe that it is because it's deja vu all over again. I think that is honestly
we won 93 games last year.
Hold on. Let me answer the question. I do believe it is because once again, it is April the 17th, as I stated earlier, and we've already seen Palante shut down for 4 days. Then for some reason we use him on back-to-back days, which makes no sense at all. Then we've already seen our pitchers are not going deep in game. Like, these are all problems that we talked about in 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, 18, 17, 16. Caleb from the back row with the hand up. Go.
The Cardinals are 9th in average start length in all of baseball.
I understand. Okay.
They're in the top third, so they're getting as many innings or more than almost every team in baseball. So they're not getting short starts. Palante was fatigued from Colorado. That goes away with time and said he felt great today. He just hung a curveball and Pavin Smith destroyed it. Shit happens. That's what Major League Baseball players are supposed to do. You hang a curveball, it's going to get crushed. He was throwing 97. I don't think there was any fatigue there. So I get it. But once again, we're in our bubble where we're saying, well, we're not getting that many quality starts. Well, we're averaging 5 1/3 or 5 2/3 per start from our starting pitchers. That ranks 9th in all of baseball. And it went up because today Jack Flaherty gave us 6. So I don't know. Like it is what it is. Like you're gonna struggle. It's baseball. And anyone that expects their team to come out firing on all cylinders, playing like a cohesive team in April, like you're just fooling yourself. It's not going to happen. And guess what? Most teams that do that, the Brewers, who have done this a lot of years in a row,
right,
it's not going to end up that way. The Rangers are winning the National League, the American League West right now. I don't even think they finish in 3rd place in that division. So I don't know what we're doing here. Like we know this is part of baseball. This isn't football. This isn't even hockey. This is not basketball. You're going to go through ups and downs as an offense, as a pitching staff. And right now, it seems like when the offense is good, the pitching's bad. When the pitching's good, the offense is bad. That's not going to continue. Like they're going to click at some point.
I think all I could do was answer your question on why we feel like, I think as Cardinal fans, we feel this way. And as we've talked about before, it's because once again, we have seen this play out in front of our eyes. Now, those stats are fantastic to know. 9th is good. That's top 3rd. I'm not great at math, but that's top 3rd. All right, so that's pretty good.
12 playoff spots. That's 9.
Question to you. I was not watching the game. I had to work. All right. Mm-hmm. Was kind of following along and whatever and everything else. What was up? Like, what was up with taking Jack out so early? Was it a matchup thing? And did Jack look frustrated about being taken out? Or again, these are all questions I'm asking you because I have yet to go back. I will go back and watch the recap in the morning. I do that every morning anyway, even if I watch the game. So I would just kind of wanted your take on that.
Yeah, so they took him out because he gave a homer, double, and then walked a guy. Like that's not in the seventh inning, you're not going to stay with him much longer. Yeah, he was frustrated. One, because Tyler O'Neill horribly misplayed the double. Should have caught that ball. And then I think Jack explained it after. He said I have a pen in my hand. He said he was trying to pitch around Christian Walker because at that point he was trying to work around the inning and leave that guy on second base. And the best way he thought was to probably go after the next guy, maybe get a double play. And that, that's stuff you do. Yeah, he was frustrated, but as he said after the game, he should be frustrated or you shouldn't be playing the game. Like if you want to come out of the game, then you shouldn't be playing the game. So yeah, he was frustrated, but does that mean anything like he's mad at Ollie? No, it just means he wanted to stay in and help his team win a baseball game. And then it ended up where Palante gave up a grand slam. If he wasn't frustrated by being taken out, I'd be way more concerned than him saying, I want to be in this game. Why the hell am I being taken out? Like, that's okay. And I think that also goes back to his last start in Colorado. Ollie came out, said, you're staying in the game. I'm assuming probably said something along the lines of, you let another guy on, we're taking you out. Jordan Walker misplays a ball in right field, and he gets taken out right after that. So that's kind of two games where he's getting taken out early when it's really not his fault, to be honest. Like that, Gurriel hit that ball hard, but that Tyler O'Neill catches that ball most of the time. I don't know why he didn't catch it this time. Who knows? But he was frustrated. I won't read anything into it more than Jack Flaherty is just an ultimate competitor, and he wanted to help the team win. That's about all I got from it.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. Like I said, I trust what you saw and your breakdown of it way more than most of the people that I'm reading on Twitter.
All he said was
trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Like he was walking away and he said fucking bullshit. If you've played baseball at a higher level, like even high level high school or college or whatever you played in, I guarantee there's been a time where you've been frustrated and walked to the dugout yelling fucking bullshit or something like that.
Yeah.
I got ejected for it once.
Yeah, well, so we know you did. So we know you did. First inning, lead off. By the way, that was great. Tough. That was awesome. Had to sit through 6 innings of watching other kids play. That was fun.
Could have left.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. All right. So funny that last couple things. Thank you all once again for following along, for listening. You can find our Twitters right down here and in the bio. If you would, we would love for you to hit the subscribe button on here. Thank you for that very much. By the way, after last week, we told you we're going to try to do more. We literally did not do any more last week. I will wear that one. The new job, retirement job, awesome job at the golf course. Love it. It's just a lot more hours than what I was kind of expecting. And also not as in good a shape as I thought I might have been 20 years ago. And being on my feet for 8 hours a day has kind of played a little trick in us. So I think we're going to be back. I think we're good to go now. I think we got a nice little schedule set up. So thank you for being patient. I had somebody on Twitter today say, yo, y'all doing a pod this week or what? Appreciate you for that. So here we are. All right, let's get to it. Take 2 or 3, and we don't have to go through every game. Let's not do that. Let's not rehash.
We missed a lot, huh?
Yeah, take 2 or 3 in Colorado after dropping the first game again, right, of every series. Every series. Yeah. Drop the one, then come home. Drop the one to Pittsburgh. Obviously, coming back from Colorado, that's kind of a weird scheduling thing. Take 2. I'm split with Pittsburgh. Look, here's what I'll say about Pittsburgh. I thought Oviedo was very, very good. Their offense without O'Neill Cruz is very light. It is, in my opinion,
bad.
It's very
just bad.
There we go.
They had Cannon Smith and Jigba batting 5th.
I was kind of impressed with some of their arms that they have, some young arms. I mean, the Pirates have started off well. They started off a lot better than I think a lot of people thought they would. And so splitting 4, most people would say, oh, it's the fucking Pirates. Yes, it is. We know that is who it is. However, early in the season, Pittsburgh playing well together. We've seen some good things from them. So all in all, last week we go 4-3. Now Rockies do have the worst record in the National League, and then the other one was the Pirates. So most people would say we should have gone 5-2, probably 6-1. But we went 4-3. We won the week. Yeah,
and
that's one way to look at it.
Here's the thing. Pirates bullpen has been one of the best bullpens in baseball early on. When you play bad teams early on in the season, that's not when you want to be playing bad teams. Like, it's just not. Right. You want to be playing the bad teams when they're beaten down and they've lost 10 of 12 and it's hot and it's August and they don't want to be even out there anymore. That's when you want to be playing the Pirates, and that's when you'll see the 4-game sweeps. We see this every year where there's always either a series lost or a 4-game split against the Pirates. Everybody flips the fuck out, and guess what? We always make the playoffs and they always lose 95 games. So relax. I get it. It happens. My takeaway is the offense. It's weird. It's weird because Jordan Walker, I don't know. He looks really bad right now, if I'm being honest with you. Like that would be my assessment.
Yes.
I expected this to happen. He's just pounding everything into the ground. He will be fine. He'll figure it out. I think he could use maybe some more off days than he's getting. So hopefully that happens. We have enough outfielders. Obviously, we'll talk about that later. Probably we have too many outfielders. It seems like you can give him some rest. But Nolan Gorman, I mean, we need to talk about him later. He looks amazing. Nolan
I've
Arenado
got a
looks a little,
list.
yeah. Arenado looks a little bit lost right now. He's Nolan. He'll be fine. So it's weird. Wilson looks really good right now. As of today, the last 2 games, when everyone screamed at Ollie for batting in third today.
I know.
I mean, the guys. We get to him later because let's just get to the series, I guess.
Well, let's just go through a few things. Let's start with
overall-
Jordan Walker.
Well, you want to start with? Can we talk about the starting pitching and then get to the offense? Because
Well,
I think
let's live in
I
your
think-
world then.
there's something weird that's happening here on Twitter. Starting pitching was really bad for the first, I don't know, let's say through the second Colorado game. Is that fair? Miles wasn't very good that game. There've
Miles
been some
hasn't been good,
Monty he was pretty good yesterday. Monty hadn't been great. Has been great. The rest had been, Jack's been weird, whatever. Since then, pretty good. I think as a whole, there's been some weird innings here and there. Jake Woodford came up, had a good start. The starting pitching right now, while I do believe it will be the weakest part of this team moving forward, it's still getting bagged on, and I just don't really know why. Like the Cardinals aren't scoring runs. That's why they're losing these games. Like the problem is it's 6-1. Yeah, that's not good that you let 5 more runs score, but you shouldn't only have 1 run at that point in time in the game. Like you had other opportunities to score today.
Right.
So starting pitching's been way better. Jack's looked really good, I think. I think Monty's looked really good. Miles, I just think he'll be fine. I don't know if he's going to have a 3-2, but I think he'll have a 3-5, a 3-6 when it's all said and done. Matt's kind of tired of him, to be honest. I just don't know what's going on with that guy.
Yeah.
And Woodford's
well, then he settled down his last start. Like after he gives up the leadoff home run.
It's like fuck off. Like
But
stop giving up
3-1.
the first 3 runs.
He's always 3-0. Now let me ask you this. You bring up the starting pitching, but I think if I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here, and I want to get your take on this. Is it fair to say we played 2 of the worst offenses in Major League Baseball? And maybe that is why you've seen the starting pitching come around in the last 7 days. I mean, I think like Miles, I know we want Miles to be good because we gave him a 2-year extension. And I know he gutted through what 5 1/3 or 5 2/3.
I wouldn't say he gutted
Pirates,
through,
bro. Like
I wouldn't say he gutted through. He gave up.
He wasn't sharp again.
Well, that's not true though. Like he gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3, and one of those runs was on Lars Nootbaar. So he really gave up 1.
Yeah,
like he was good.
I'm a
he
little
didn't
bit
gut through. Like I don't think that's a fair characteristic.
Okay.
He was rolling for 4 innings.
I'm gonna say I'm a little bit concerned about Miles Michaelis. I will say that.
I'm not yet.
All right.
Like I'm not yet.
Okay.
Like
all right.
Here's the thing. Like you look at anyone's worst 4 starts in a season, and like look at what Sandy Alcantara is doing right now.
I know.
He's gotten blown up.
Yeah.
2 starts in a row. Like it happens. And I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be great. I don't know. He could be bad, but I'm not worried. And I'll be, I mean, talk to me in May. Like it's April 17th. Like Goldie wasn't good last year and he won the MVP. He was bad all of April.
Right.
And he won the fucking MVP. So like, I don't know what else to say other than the fact it's kind of a cop out, I guess, but other than the fact that we've played games for just over 2 weeks.
All right, let's go through some of I made some notes this week of some of the things for us, I think, to talk about, kind of what I would call the hot topics around the Cardinals right now. And then we'll move on to around the league. And then we got our power rankings, right? That's what we got. And then we'll get out of here. We keep pushing the mailbag back, but I've got a list. We're going to do that on the next podcast. All right. Because we got so much stuff to get to tonight. You all right with that?
We won't do it on the next podcast.
We will. I promise. We're Blake, buddy. I promise. We will do it. I promise for you. We will do it. I enjoy it. I like your reactions. So we'll do that. All right, let's just go through a little bit. Let's start with Tommy Edman. All right, huge hit yesterday for the walk-off after being, I think he was 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Changes that dramatically. 1 for 15, not 15. Great.
He was 0 for 15.
0 for 15, so 1 for 16. My apologies. 1 for 16, not great, but huge. Let me ask you a question, all right? And it's something you and I have talked about. I don't know if we've talked about it much on here or not. The switch hitting with Tommy Edman. Are you still okay with, I mean, I guess okay is not the word. Do you still believe he should be a switch hitter, or do you believe he is dramatically better from the right side? Now, you could argue that's because he's facing left-handed pitching, whatever. If he faced right-handed pitching, how would he hit right-handed? We don't know that. Do you think that's something that the Cardinals and Tommy are going to look at in the future? Or do you think he's just going to be a switch hitter who's going to struggle a lot of times from the left side and provide a lot more pop or whatever else from the right side?
Generally speaking, most of the best pitchers in baseball are right-handed. So we have to take that into account.
Correct.
Generally speaking, right-handed hitters are way better at hitting left-handed pitching than left-handed hitters are hitting right-handed pitching. That's just the way baseball has always been. So he was above average hitter right-handed. I mean, left-handed last year, slightly, but he was. No, I don't think so. Because I think it's adds a lot to his value that he can turn around and have a matchup advantage. And two, we know that this guy is streaky with his left-handed swing. Like he's always good right-handed,
Right.
But he's streaky with his left-handed swing. He'll be fine. He's going to hit his doubles. He's going to do his thing. I just think people don't realize how big of an adjustment that is at the major league level to switch what you've been doing your whole life and to see right-handed sliders come out of Jacob deGrom's arm or whoever for the first time you're facing that right-handed. You're going to suck. It's not going to be good.
I don't know. I think I probably hit 700 off of him.
Yeah, he's hurt, by the way, which sucks. But no,
of course. I mean,
yeah, he got hurt today. He was throwing a no-hitter through 5 and left the game.
I saw. Okay, now let's get to one of the things that you kind of brought up earlier in the podcast, and because I think it is such a big topic, and it's been a topic that you and I have questioned all year. Like, what is going to happen? One, what is the report? Let's start with this. What is the report on Burley? Have we heard? Because what a start he's been off to.
He hit a home run.
Okay, see, I did not watch. I told you, did not watch the game. Was at the golf course with the old Rich Whites. That's what I was
not
doing
even
today.
2 hours ago. He had a 2-run home run.
All right. Well, here we go.
He's doing fine, I think.
All right, good. Now, which leads me into, obviously, you had the DC next drain. We still have the questions about what's going on with Dylan Carlson. Newt's back. All right. You have 5 outfielders. Mm-hmm. Rank them for me.
Okay. In order of how good they are, or how much I'd play them.
How much you would play them. Let's do that because I think that goes hand in hand with how good they are.
It doesn't, because I don't think Walker is better than Tyler O'Neill, but I'd play him over Tyler O'Neill because he's here. But as of right now, I would go Newt R1. He's been incredible. Like the guy, he's walked almost 50% of his at-bats so far, and he hit a homer yesterday.
Best part about Newt was he went down to the rehab, struck out 3 out of 5 at-bats, came up and hit a bomb.
and they called him up, and they hit a home run, yeah. 2 is where that gets tough. Oh my. Okay. Burleson. I think I'm going Burleson too.
I agree.
And then I'm going to go Walker 3, and then I'm going to go O'Neill, and I'm going to go Carlson.
Okay. So
and Carlson, and before Carlson is a very distant 5.
You and I have talked on here about how we talked about this, in fact, leading from, it felt like November until now, honestly. How is Ollie going to utilize all of these guys? I think, and this kind of leads into what you brought up earlier. The emergence of Nolan Gorman has changed everything because, I had talked on here and had a really good Twitter discussion with another guy who brought to my attention that he thought heading in the year, the DH role was going to specifically be an outfielder. I did not see it that way going in because everybody who watches the show and listens to me knows that Nolan Gorman is one of my, I love that dude. Absolutely. I've talked about it soon. He's going to go through a rut at some point too, probably. But what he's doing right now is unbelievable. I mean, the changes he's made, the confidence, every time he gets up there, you almost feel like something good is going to happen when Nolan Gorman is in the box. And I just always kind of I didn't know it was going to be this good right off the bat. Let's be honest. But I didn't see it as one of those outfielders was DHing. So you and I have talked about this. So there are a lot of bats, but we can't keep platooning everyone. You can't have just maybe you can.
You want to be the Dodgers from the past 5 years? Is that what you want to be, the Dodgers? Because that's what they do. What they've done forever.
Well, they don't, because Mookie plays every day.
Yeah, Nolan Arenado plays every day.
Well, Mookie's an outfielder. We're not talking about.
Okay, but that's not the I'm okay. I'm talking about players. Outfielder, infielder doesn't make a fucking difference.
Okay,
they've done this forever. They find players that are good in their roles and they maximize them. They revitalized Albert Pujols. This is what they do. They revitalized Albert Pujols without a fucking DH. That's what they did. I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
And you're talking about the Dodgers, base. Correct? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this is what they do, and that's why you hired Ollie Marmol. I think it's fair to say that Mosaic has been wanting this for a long time, and he's been searching for it. He found the players, he found the group of guys, and he got the manager that he thinks is going to be able to make it work. Now,
Okay.
whether or
I
not
tend
it's
to
going
agree
end
with
up
you, by the
working,
way. But like I led you to that question. Acting, I tend to agree with you, and we've talked about it. What can I tell you? What concerns me about that is that we
yeah,
now are going to make Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson against lefties almost only,
not
and
really.
that does
Tyler O'Neill
concern
played
me.
today.
I'm talking about going forward, right? That's all I'm saying. Jordan
I don't
Walker
know.
is here.
Yeah, sorry. You know what I do? Yeah, he is for now. I mean, we'll see. He needs to stop hitting the ball on the ground. But I don't know. I think the thing that's interesting to me, the one thing that would concern me is these guys are young. It's different if you're platooning a bunch of veterans. Platooning young guys is different. They're not playing every day. It is a different thing. So I will acknowledge that could be a bump in the road. I'll also say that I think they could trade some of these guys. I think they probably will at some point. And here's the thing that we've talked all offseason that they needed to get pitching and to trade for it from this surplus. Who are the two guys a lot of people wanted to trade? Alec Burleson and Nolan Gorman. I would be glad they didn't trade those guys because they're batting 2 and 5 for us today.
Right.
So
right.
I think it's going to figure itself out because not all 5 guys are going to be good. Dylan Carlson looks lost at the plate sometimes. Sometimes he looks great. It's weird. Tyler O'Neill hits the ball 110 and the next at bat looks like he's never played baseball before. So I don't know. All I know is Alec Burleson's consistently hitting the shit out of the ball. I know Jordan Walker came up and had the longest hitting streak ever as a 20-year-old. And I know that Lars Nootbaar walks and hits homers, and that's just what he does, and he plays great defense. So,
which, by the way, we are 20 minutes into the podcast, and that's the first time we mentioned Walker breaking the thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Impressive,
so
right?
Shout out Jordan Walker.
And he was
kind of
the thing that was more impressive to me about that is he was struggling while doing it. He wasn't hitting that well. He was just finding a way, starting rallies. I don't think he should get sent down. That's not what I meant to imply earlier. I know
you didn't.
I ranked him 3rd because I think he should be playing every single day. Like in terms of people that need to play every day, he'd be number 1 because if he's here, he has to play. He'll figure it out. He'll be fine. I think Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson, if you're asking me to rank them talent wise, they're probably not 4 and 5. Tyler O'Neill's probably 1 in terms of talent, and Dylan Carlson's not 5 for me in terms of how I think is the most talented player. I just think at this point, like, hey, Dylan, it's a competition. Put up or shut up, dude. It's time. You got to go, and he's not going. It's like sometimes I feel like he shrivels under pressure, and it's not good. He tried to bunt the other day unprompted in the 9th inning with the winning run on second base.
Yeah.
You want to win a competition, get a hit.
Right.
I don't know what else to say at this point. Burleson's running with it. He smoked another ball a day. He's batting second for you. That guy's not going anywhere. His emotion would be moving down the order, not coming out of it. So I don't know. At this point,
now that leads me to my final question about the outfield, because I really think we need to spend a little bit more time on Nolan Gorman. So I hope you have his stats pulled up. So if not, while I'm asking you this question, have those stats pulled up, because I do not.
And the thing,
so you know. But anyway,
Nolan.
Hold on before we get to that.
Yeah, go ahead. I got excited.
Are we concerned at all about Burleson and Walker defensively in the outfield? Because what that does, if those two are playing, that means Lars Nootbaar's in center field. I'm not saying Lars Nootbaar is not. I'm saying what I would say is he's our 3rd best center fielder on our team. That's what I would say.
Yeah. No. 2nd. He's way better.
You think he's better than? Okay, that's fine.
I don't even think it's close, if I'm being honest with you. I think Tyler O'Neill might be worse than Alec Burleson in center field, but he's just fast. I don't understand. I still don't understand why that happened. Am I concerned? I would say I'm not concerned because I know that they're both bad. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned that they're bad. I know they're not very good. But what I do think, actually, Burleson's not bad. I won't love it. Jordan Walker's a bad outfielder right now. Yes, he will figure it out with reps. But right now, let's just call what it is. That will be fair. He's playing every day in the outfield as a major leaguer. He's not playing well out there. That's okay. He'll figure it out. I will anticipate his defense getting better as the season goes on. Now, will it be an all-star caliber at the end? No, it won't be Gold Glove caliber. The one thing I will say, I think Nolan Gorman looks really good at second base. He made some really good plays today. So, and we've seen Donovan play. Donovan's so fucking good. But we've seen Donovan play first base a lot. We've seen him. Both those guys can play third. I think what you're going to see is Alec Burleson DHing more as time goes on, because I think they're going to be giving Nolan and Goldie days off, or they're going to be DHing or whatever it's going to be, because we thought coming into this that Contreras was going to take up DH at bats. Seems like that's not the case.
Does
yeah. I don't think he's going to be DHing. Maybe very rarely, honestly. It might only be if he's nicked up a little bit. Like that might be the only time he does it. So I do think
oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done.
I do think Gorman's going to play more second base than he has been up to this point, because I think more guys are going to start getting days off as we get into the grind of the season, less off days. So I think they're going to figure it out. I don't think Burleson and Walker are going to both be in the outfield on the same day all the time, because I think O'Neill's still going to play a lot. I think Carlson's going to play a lot too. So I think it's going to be fine.
One thing, Tyler O'Neill did hit a 461-foot homer in Coors the other night.
That was a bomb. He destroyed that ball into the trees.
Bomb. I do think we need to give Jordan Walker just a little bit more love, because we did kind of gloss over the fact that he broke an unbelievable record. I mean, 12 straight games as a rookie. That's that's more than what we thought. Like you said, he's not blistering the ball. He does have 2 home runs.
Well, he's hitting it hard. It's just
hitting, yeah. So, 20-year-old learning on the job at the major league level, not an easy thing to do. I think so far the results, if you were to ask people, have been highly positive on Jordan Walker. The outfield the defense is suspect. There's no doubt about it. But he's 20 years old. He's never really right. I mean, he's going to get better. He's not going to move to first base, so he's going to get better.
I have a question for you, and here's my thing. Like, earlier when I said that he's been bad, I was meaning like the last 3 games. It's not been very long. He's been fine. Since the Hicks ended, he just hasn't been very good because he's human. Nolan Arenado also not been very good since then, so they're going to be fine. How well does he have to hit to validate playing him in the outfield? Like, you know what I mean? I think they're going to keep him up because he's 20 years old and he's your prize prospect, and you don't want to send that guy back down. And they shouldn't as of right now. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying if he were to go into a long slump, like, and I mean month long, not like a week. How long do they stay with him before they say he has to hit well to provide his value, and he's not hitting well?
Part of me almost thinks, and this isn't totally answering your question, I guess, but it's kind of leading into what you were saying. Part of me thinks the coach not anywhere near where these guys, never ever do I believe that. I would almost give Jordan Walker 3 or 4 games at the DH spot because of how well Nolan Gorman has handled second base, and put Donovan in right field.
Oh, wait, is that what you're saying?
Like maybe the next 4 games, like to get him 4 games in the lineup. Why?
Because then you just can't do that, because he has to develop in the outfield, or he's never going to.
I understand that, but I mean, he can still get reps out. I don't know. Like, that's not a bad move to put Gorman at second. He can handle it. Donovan in right field, and then you still have Walker in the lineup at DH.
Okay, but Donovan's not a good outfielder.
He's better than Jordan Walker. We all know that.
Yeah, but Donovan's considerably better than Gorman at second base. So now you're making 2 spots weaker.
Well, you're not. You're stronger in right field with Donovan in right field.
Not much, dude. Not much. Here's the thing, man. If you want your 20, if that's the case and you do anything like that, he shouldn't be here. Like, if you're
going, you want him in the lineup?
No, because he needs to be in right field every day, or he's never going to be a good fielder. You can't just go take out fly balls with William McGee and expect that to make you a good outfielder. You have to be in game. You have to learn how Busch Stadium plays. I think he's going to get better. It's not like he's costing you a ton of runs. Like, he'll make a bad play once every 3 or 4 games. But other than that, like, he catches everything he should catch. There are balls that Lars Nootbaar would catch out there that he doesn't catch. Okay. But here's my thing. And this might be their hope, is that by August, when they need to really go, that he is a good outfielder, or above average at least, or maybe even average outfielder. That he's that, but he's also now finding his footing, and he's the 4th or 5th best bat in your lineup. And they might know, hey, it's gonna take some time. But I don't think you call a guy like him up if you're not willing to see it through for a long time. That's why I asked you that question.
I agree with that.
I think he'll be up until the All-Star break no matter what. He would have to go 0 for 50 or something
I don't think
crazy.
He's going anywhere. Okay, so let's give some love to one of my favorites, and who we talk about quite often. I've been one of his staunchest, as of you, staunchest defenders on social media, like since the guy came up, right? And that's Nolan Gorman. Like, we're talking about a guy like on a team that is massively struggling. Massively struggling.
You could just say struggling.
Yeah, there we go. But I felt like we needed to have an adjective in front of that, or an adverb. Whatever. One of those in front of there to make it even bigger. His at bats with runners in scoring position. We talked before about some of the walks he's drawn, but how many games has he either won for us or put us right back in? Just in the last week, late in the game, clutch moments with runners in scoring position.
Well, he's getting the nickname "Go Ahead Gorman," I guess. I think that's kind of stupid nickname.
I like Storm and Gorman.
I don't.
Oh, I thought you might.
I think it's Storm and Norman.
It is
Storming, like you said, Gorman.
I know. Well, his name's not Norman.
That's what people call him, Nolan Gorman. Anyway,
I understand it.
Okay, well then I don't know why.
But his name is Gorman, so I like Storm and Gorman.
Okay, but his name's also Nolan. Okay, let's just move on.
Jesus.
Okay, I want to give you some stats because here's the thing. It's early on in the season. I'll keep saying it. I'll say it from struggles, so I guess I have to say it for successes. Okay, that's only fair. It's early in the season. This could change. That's out there. So if someone comments, it's early in the season. I just fucking said it was early in the season, so please don't.
Right.
Because I'm tired of defending that. He's playing well right now. Here's what I like about it. Okay, his changes. Like there is times where players just get really hot, but there's no palpable change. It's just like okay, they're hitting home runs. You know, where it's like nothing's really changed. Is this going to be sustainable? Well, Nolan Gorman has changed. He's changed who he is as a hitter. He's still striking out a lot. He's still whiffing a lot. That's never going to change. Get over it. It's just who he is. Here's what he is. His
whiff percentage is pretty low though, right? Like 20-something%.
He's in the 16th percentile. He's whiffing a lot. He's going to whiff a lot.
Okay.
It's just going to happen. He swings a lot too. Here's what I love. His chase rate is 80th percentile in baseball. He's last year. Hold on, let me find this real quick. Last year, his chase rate was like in the 10 percentile range. So he's increased that by 70% on the league average. That's incredible, obviously. He's in the 91st percentile in exit velocity, hard hit percentage, expected batting average, which is big because he's not a batting average guy. We know that. But he's hitting the ball so damn hard. He could have had 3 hits today easily, and he lined out twice. Like that's how he's not even I'm getting the results he should be getting. His average exit velocity is high. He just set a personal record that's been measured by Statcast for the hardest hit ball in a double yesterday to tie the game. Everything he's done, he's laying off high fastballs. Okay, what was his biggest issue coming into the season, Dad? We've all said it. What do you think it was? The area he needed to tighten up.
The chasing the high fastball.
Okay. Hitting high fastballs. Let's just say that. Chasing, yes.
Fair.
Which he's laid off. We just talked about the chase rate. He is laying off high fastballs out of the zone. He's batting .417 on fastballs this year. .417. That is a 300-point change from last season. I mean, I don't know. Like he has made the change. Whether or not it sticks or it opens up more holes, I don't know. Like we talked about this earlier. I said I'm worried about it opening holes to things he was successful at, like hitting changeups and sliders and curveballs, because he's focusing on fastballs. Well, fuck me, because he hit a home run to give him the lead in Colorado on a hanging slider. The dude is swinging more. He's hitting more first pitches in the zone. All right, sorry about that. I cut whatever just happened out because that probably hurt your ears. But
there was an exorcist potentially in
what I wanted to say was he's being selective, but he's being aggressive, which is the best thing you could be as a hitter. He's walking a lot. His walk rate's among the best in baseball right now. He's striking out a ton. Going to happen. I love that he was able to make the change, and this is not easy. Most guys that are selective and making an effort to be more selective will be less aggressive in the strike zone. He's not chasing, but he's hitting balls in the strike zone very, very hard. So everything he's doing is sustainable as of right now. Will he bat 333? No, probably not. He'll probably be in the, but I do think we are seeing a guy that could be in the 280 range. We should be seeing a guy that's going to be getting on base instead of last year where it was just above 300. If he keeps walking, not like this, because he probably won't, because it's kind of crazy. He's like Juan Soto type walk numbers right now, but he could be a 350 OBP guy. He could be easily a 500 slug guy. And then you've got 850 OPS guy like that. Like, so that's where he's at right now. And I love
at age 22.
And he's not having bad games. That's the thing that's impressive to me. It doesn't matter who he's facing. He's not going out there and having those Nolan Gorman games that we watched last year where he's 0 for 4 strikeouts, and he looks like he can't hit. He's not doing that. He's competitive in every at-bat. He'll strike out. Next at-bat, he's back with the same plan, and he's doing damage to next at-bat. So I've been really impressed. He's been by far the best player on the team this year. It's not even close. Yeah,
whatever he worked on, and we've talked about it on here before, he's a workaholic. Like, I think whatever the organization gave him, I almost feel like he might have started like the day after the playoffs ended.
Him and Donovan said he was sending him videos in like late October of his swing. And he was like, damn, this guy looks like a different hitter. What the hell happened? So,
I mean, I love it. I'm here for all of it. I cannot wait. Next jersey I'm getting is the Nolan Gorman jersey, no doubt about it.
Wait till after the
Okay.
trade deadline.
Well, stop.
His names are going to be rumored. You already know it.
No longer be a Cardinal fan.
Here's the hope. Hopefully he hits 20 homers in the first half, and then there's not even consideration.
Big props to Libby, 3-0 now down at AAA. I watched him second time now I've watched him. He is dominant, and he has full command of 4 pitches right now.
Swagger too. He's pitching with that swagger that when Liberatore pitches with swagger, that's when he's good. Like that's most people. But when he's even keel, he's probably not going to do well. It's just who he is. He runs hot, he burns hot, and when he tries to suppress it, it's not good. That brings up an interesting question because Wainwright is on a rehab start in Springfield tomorrow. I think it's time for a 6-man rotation.
Okay, really?
I do.
Mike Goda, are you listening? Hey, Mike, you listening? You've been on this.
There's multiple reasons. Normally, I wouldn't think that, but there's multiple reasons. One, I think Miles might be fatigued from throwing 200 and some innings for the first time in 4 years last year. Yeah. Jack Flaherty, we know his injury history. I think he's still building up and getting ready. Wainwright was injured. Now he's 41 years old. Steven Matt's massive injury history. And who's the 5th guy that I'm missing? Monty's fine. So I don't have anything about him. But the other 4, I do think it would benefit all of them to do that. And if Matthew Liberatore is dominating AAA, I want to see what the guy can do, man. Can he help us win ball games?
Agreed.
Because I think we can help. And this early in the season, we're about to go on a stretch where we have a lot of games and not very many days. It's just going to help you, man. It's just going to help you. And I hate to throw Jake Woodford aside because he was really good his last start, even though he's getting barreled all to hell and it's just on the ground that they're smoking the ball off of him right now. I just don't think how can you have 5 starters that, maybe 3 of the 5 are underperforming and then have a guy in the minor leagues and say, we can't bring you up because we have too many starters.
Right. Let me ask you this. If they decide not to go the route of the 6-man rotation, are you confident in Cabrera as that second lefty right now?
Looks really good.
Okay, so that really foils my question because he does look good.
He had one bad outing, but he looked.
But
really,
I do
really
believe that Matthew Liberatore is one of our best 13 pitchers in our organization right now.
Here's the thing. One of these 5 that's in our rotation, I'll throw a winner into that. Sorry, I just don't think Jake Woodford's a long-term starter for this team, unless he goes out and throws 7 shutout next game. I hope he does. But let's go to 5 and just add a Bueno into there. He's coming back. He'll be back soon. Odds are one of them is going to get hurt for at least a little bit of time. I'm not going to say a season ending. I hope that doesn't happen, but they'll be out for at least a couple of weeks. It's just going to happen at some point, especially with the pitchers we have and the track records of injury. So if you have your best 6th starter no longer stretched out, you want Dakota Hudson making starts, or do you want Matthew Liberatore making starts? Right. Would you rather have Liberatore ready to be a starter and Cabrera throwing fine? I agree with you. Or vice versa. Like that's my opinion on it.
I agree with you. Okay, let's get to a couple more guys in this organization that I'd like to get your takes on. I mean, I kind of know where you stand on one, but I think we have to talk about it, and that's Paul DeJong. I mean, what do you see? Is he going to be up here soon? Is in that sense Taylor Motter, who's done nothing wrong since he's been here, but down to AAA. I mean, what do you think the long-term view of Paul DeJong? And he's had some good games down there at AAA. Now again, it's AAA, it's not the big leagues. I understand that, but what do you view? How do you view that?
He'll be here soon whenever he's ready. He's been really good the last couple of games, which is good. I mean, I want Paul DeJong if he's a Cardinal, I want him to succeed. But here's my thing. This is going to throw a caveat out there. I am okay with Paul DeJong being on the team if he is treated damn near the exact same Taylor Motter is being treated. Agreed. With maybe even less at bats. To be honest.
Agreed.
Here's where I'm going to lose my fucking shit. If they treat Paul DeJong like he is a left-handed masher when he comes up, when he has reverse splits, and we already know he's bad against righties, he's worse against lefties, and they treat him like just because he swings from the fucking right side of the batter's box that he can hit left-handed pitching, I am going to go nuts. He can't hit left-handed pitching. He can't even hit right-handed pitching, and he's worse against lefties. So for the love of God, if he is up here, he needs to be up here for one reason, and that's if someone gets hurt, you can put him at shortstop. That's the only reason.
I agree with you 100%. All right.
Gosh, because I know they're going to do it, Dad. I know they're going to do it.
No, they're not. I don't.
They did it with Taylor Motter. They had him DH pinch hit for Brendan Donovan.
I know.
Like when, okay, I get platoon splits, but when did it become a thing where just because you swing from one side means you can hit the other side? It's not a thing.
No, it's not. And we know it's not with the young. Okay, let's get to the other one. I've asked 6 times on Twitter now. And I've asked you 150,000 times. I need someone to explain Jordan Hicks to me. I need someone to explain what is happening right now. I understand. I mean, we know what's happening. He was asked to probably go to the minors, and he told them no. He doesn't have to.
Understand.
Right? I mean, you're right. Yeah, I'm not judging him.
I would have done the same thing. I would have said, release me.
But it's almost like it just continues to tie the hands of Ollie, because, I mean, when you need another guy at the back end of that bullpen who can help you.
Drew Verhagen's kind of becoming that guy.
Yeah, I think maybe.
He looks really good. Really good. So let's give him credit.
Agreed.
He's taken on that role and really been big for us. Because Hicks has not been good. He's been actually really, really bad. But Verhagen stepped up in a massive way. Like he's been really impressive. He gave up a few runs. It was in Colorado. They were fluky big outfield Colorado runs. So that's unfortunate. But really, in my mind, he has his ERA because that's how he's looked. Verhagen's been great. So let's get to Jordan Hicks. Before we get in, I know people were really pissed off at the idea of Jordan Hicks not accepting the assignment to AAA, which I understand because on the surface, I get it. Here's what people I'm not gonna say understand, but I don't think they know. If Jordan Hicks goes down and he's down there for 20 days, just 20 days, he loses an entire year of service, which means he's set to be a free agent after this year. If he's down for 20 days, he's not a free agent after this year. He's now coming back next year and having to go to arbitration again. Jordan Hicks starts 102. I don't care how bad he is this year. Someone's going to sign to a big league deal in free agency. So if you're him, that's a lot of trust you have to put in them, that if you're figured out in 15 days, that they don't keep you down there for 5 more days to keep you for another year. Would you risk that with your money? I wouldn't. No way in hell. I love the Cardinals, but God, I wouldn't trust them with that. I just would not. So I understand that aspect of it. And also, he's a big leaguer. Like, who's not going to trust himself? Like, he's going to be like, I can figure this out here. I get it. Like, that's the confidence I want Jordan Hicks to have. So I'm okay with that. Here's where it gets tough. If you're the Cardinals, you know how good Jordan Hicks was down the stretch last year. You know how good he was in the playoffs for you last year. He was really good. Their best reliever in that playoffs. You can't just give up on him. I don't think. If they DFA'd him, I don't think I'd make a big stink about it. I just think it becomes a problem when you have Chris Stratton and Jordan Hicks, that you're both not willing to use either of them in high leverage situations. Andre Palante has not been very good the last couple outings. Now it's 3 guys you're a little hesitant to use in big situations. And now you're really hamstringing yourself, I think. So I get the conversation, but I also get the wanting to figure him out. I just think you can't give him much more of a leash, though. Like, he's got to figure it out soon, because you cannot have multiple guys in your bullpen that you just don't want trust beyond the 7th inning in a close game. That's a recipe for disaster. That's how you overuse Gio and Helsley.
Yeah, and not to stare down the gloomy wall that's heading our way, but you got 2 more with Arizona, and then we go to Seattle, San Francisco, and the Dodgers. Big time West Coast trip against some. I mean, the Giants. It's always tough to play in San Francisco.
They've all 3 been bad, though.
I get it, but again, West Coast
it's
trips
gonna be
are
tough.
not easy.
West Coast is tough, no matter what.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to get on with the Cardinals before I want to do a little?
What was your take on
the
it?
league? I just don't get it. I honestly, I'm not going to lie. And it's not a shot. I'm not taking a shot at the guy. The guy can do things that I could only dream of in my life. But I've never seen a guy who throws that hard and has that nasty of a slider get barreled up so often, or not have any idea where it's going in the strike zone after let's be fair, Caleb. He hasn't been good since 2019. He hasn't been. He said 2020 out with COVID.
Flashes.
Okay, but there's been zero consistency with Jordan Hicks since 2019.
He was our 3rd best reliever down the stretch last year and was phenomenal in the playoffs. So you have to at least give him that. He was great through 3 innings in the postseason against the Phillies and was lights out.
He's been in the big leagues for 5 years and he has a .5 WAR. A guy who throws 102 with a nasty splitter. Caleb, he was a closer for a while. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I mean, that's all I'm saying is, to me, that is and I still think Jordan Hicks. I remember he lived with Matheny when he was here for a while. That was all weird. Then I think he wants to be, in his mind, he's a starter. He should be an elite starter in the major leagues. I think he feels like that's how he should get paid, is as an elite starter. And I think he could. And I still think
don't blame him. by the way.
No, I'm not saying I do either. I'm just saying it all adds up to a bunch of question marks for me. That's all I'm going to say.
He's a tough nut to crack, I guess. The first thing I'll say, just because I don't want to bag on the guy because he's been really bad. Like that's just the way it is. Like I'm just going to talk honestly. He's been awful. Like he's had one outing where he hasn't given up a run. That's god awful. I've heard everything I've heard about the guys. He's a great dude. So we'll just throw that out there.
I'm sure.
So I know I just want to say that because guys are attacking his character because he didn't take the assignment. And I get on the surface that looking bad. I hope my explanation of why I think that I wouldn't do it either at least helped you understand why he wouldn't go take a pay cut, perhaps for 2 years now. It's tough. He gets in these roles where he's really, really good, like where he's just on a roll. He looks really good. And he gets in the opposite where he just looks like he's never pitched before in his life. So I don't know. We'll see where he goes. I hope he figures it out because that guy's still a massive weapon when he's right. Like he is.
Yeah, so I'm not arguing, but he's, and also, like, just to be fair, people love to judge, like, they think that everything should be this whole, I'll put the team first.
Cardinal way.
Do what?
The Cardinal way.
Yeah, bingo. That's not the way the world works, folks. That's not the way.
It's not the way. Hold on. Also, anyone who's saying that, it's not the way you work, sir.
No.
If someone offered you more money to do one thing or less money to do the other thing, you're doing the thing that makes you more money because that's what you do.
Right. And also, people just love these feel-good stories because for some reason it makes them feel good. That's not the way the world works. If I'm Jordan Hicks, I do the same thing. Like, watch Succession, motherfuckers. That you will find out that the way the world works is not by making you feel good.
And I like when guys take pay cuts to stay here. When Nolan did that, it made me feel good about myself as a fan. I thought it was cool. But Nolan's making $35 million.
Correct. Bingo.
Jordan Hicks is making like $3 million. And if he goes down, he's making now like nothing. So I don't understand.
Okay, let's take a look around the major leagues and the guy that we're going to get to see next weekend. And who I'm going to kick this off with probably. And I am here for every single fucking second of the Jared Kelenic revenge tour. Bro is hitting over 400 with 350, with 4 bombs. He has a 1.08 OPS. I think he has 3 stolen bases. And if you don't pay attention, he is turning into one of the better, if not one of the best right fielders in the game of baseball. No shot at Ronald Acuna. I'm just saying he is very, very good out there.
Mookie Betts.
I know. I understand. I'm just saying he's
not Mookie Betts level.
No, but what I'm saying is in the American League, he might end up being one of the best right fielders in the American League. He has made some plays. I watch a lot of Mariners games. 49 Mariners lit right now. All right. So I watch a lot of their games.
Cardinal games.
I think I do. Well, it's because I get home late and they're on late. I am all about the Jared Kelenic revenge tour, and I just hope he keeps it going. Like, to me, Kelenic is my Nolan Gorman also. Like, I love that dude. I traded Julio Rodriguez because I kept Jared Kelenic. Not a great fantasy move.
That was just
However,
stupid.
I am a Kelenic fan. I love the fact that he's had merch since he's like 18. I love the fact that he bets on himself all the time. I love the fact that everybody told him, he's going to be washed up. He was he's a bust, and now he's coming out. I mean, sometimes it just, guys, baseball is hard, and sometimes guys take longer to develop.
Most times people take longer to develop. Jared Kelenic is one of the most talented players in all of baseball. He has been since he came up. It was mental for him, and he talked about that. He does have some holes in his swing. He's going to strike out a lot. He's similar to Nolan Gorman in their profile. Hits the ball a lot. He had a 480-foot bomb in Wrigley. I've never seen a ball go where he hit that ball.
No.
But he said that he had to be honest with himself and say, hey, you're not doing what you need to be doing. Your mental side of the game is all fucked up. You need to fix it, or you're never going to be who you want to be. And you're probably almost done with the Mariners. Like, let's be honest, if he was bad again this year, and like the level of bad that he was like god awful. Like, he was not a Major League Baseball player. But then you go down to AAA and he'd have a 950 OPS. It was so weird. He was looking like one of those
with a lot of guys before.
Quadruple A guys, right? But normally that doesn't happen with guys with Jared Kelenic's talent, right? Like, that guy is one of the best AAA.
Brandon Wood would like a word.
I said normally. There's anomalies, but normally a guy with Jared Kelenic's just raw athleticism and power figures it out to some extent. Maybe he's not gonna be a star, but at least he's gonna be a league average player. He was not. So I'm glad he's figured it out. I'm glad he said he reset his mental. I sound like Marshawn Lynch. Whatever. He reset his thinking. process around baseball. And I'm glad he's figured it out. I hope he continues it because, it could just be a flash in the pan. But I think a lot of the stuff he's talked about in his interviews, I suggest you go listen to them. Sounds like he's made some substantial changes that will carry on throughout his career. I hope they do.
I think so. Now we know those of you who've watched our show again, thank you very much. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate that, y'all. We know that there is one guy on this show who will never let us forget when he's right about something. Right. We know that there's one, and he's the one who's sitting in a room with naked walls behind him. That's the one. However, I'm going to go ahead and do my little pat on my shoulder, because if you remember leading into the season, there was one guy that I said, I feel like is going to break out and is poised for a massive year this year. It is early, 17 games, but Alec Boehm is straight raking for the Phillies. And I am here for I love that dude so much. And I mean, 353 jacks, 14 RBIs, and a 976 OPS. I love it. He's picked up the slack for Bryce, who, by the way, taking ground balls at first base and will not go on a rehab assignment. Dude is he's a bad fucking
man.
Dog. Like
he's not going down. Do you think he just doesn't want to buy the minor leaguers a spread? Is that what it is?
Because I've heard he really takes care of people big time down there.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. But I love what Alec Bowman's done early in the year. I love it. Brandon Marsh is raking there. So is Bryson Stott.
So if I would have told you after the Rhys Hoskins injury, because I think obviously that changes the whole dynamic. People underestimate what losing 35 home runs, 100 RBIs from your lineup really means. It means a lot. It's just his presence alone. But if I would have told you that the Phillies would have this production from Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, and Alec Boehm, we're not talking good starts. They're three of the best hitters in baseball right now.
Correct.
And they would be 6-10. What would you have said to me?
Kyle Schwarber is struggling.
And Nick Castellanos doesn't hit home runs anymore.
No, but he's hitting well. He's just not hitting home runs.
He just hits doubles. He doesn't hit the ball over the fence.
You're right.
And Citizen in the bank, which you would think Citizens Bank is made for that man's swing. When he's going right, it bombs the left center field all day. So he's getting closer. I hope he figures it out, honestly, because I really like that guy. But man, the Phillies are tough. And we're going to get the power rankings here in a second. I hate them. I hate my power rankings because I think at least 5 to 6 of these teams stink and they're in it.
They're also gazy. They're all
I think early in the season you kind of have to go with like teams that are performing well, because I can't just continue to say that the Cardinals are going to figure it out and put them in the top 10 when they're 7-10. I'm not doing that.
I'm sure you'll get to this here in a minute with your power rankings, but the AL East has 4 teams above 500 right now. The Orioles are 9-7 and they're in 4th place. Now let's talk about the Dawn Ball, because I'm also here for every minute of the Dawn Ball. And I don't care if you want to call it the Homer Hose. Fuck that. That's not what it is. Guarantee the players aren't calling it that. No, that's what I just said.
Kyle Gibson came out with that bullshit. You're lying, Kyle. That's not what it is.
Yeah, no one is calling it the fucking Homer Hose. Not one person. That's the Dawn Ball. And I want to. If there's a shirt, I'm buying it. No doubt about it. But let's talk about our guy, who's been our guy since he was at Oregon State. We loved him then when he was just dominating college baseball. Is it fair to say that Adley Rutschman is the best catcher in Major League Baseball right now? Or is that too much to put on him at this early of a start and early of an age?
I'll answer your question in 2 ways. Is it too much to put on him? No, it's not, because he is the most talent. It's tough because JT Realmuto was so damn good last year. So good. Like his second half.
And Will Smith is so good.
He's not even close. Will Smith's on a different tier. I think his defense just isn't as good as the other two. But yeah, Will Smith's a very good catcher. JT Realmuto is still the number 1 because I think he deserves to be the number 1 until supplanted for an entire season, which he hasn't been yet. So I would say Adley Rutschman is well on his way to being the best. And right now, and not even playing a full year of games yet, he hasn't played 162 yet. I think he's the second best catcher in baseball. The dude's
460 career at bats, 270 batting average, 17 homers, 55 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and an 840 OPS.
You want to hear what's scary?
This year, 344, 4 homers, 13 RBIs, and a 1.055 OPS.
How surprised are you that walk-off homer he hit the other day off of Trevor May was his first walk-off home run of his career, of his life? Crazy, right?
Yeah,
that's
life.
Crazy.
I love him.
The scariest part
personality I love everything about Adley
Yeah,
Rutschman.
he's awesome. The scariest part about Adley Rutschman to me, he struggled mightily batting right-handed last year. That's not normal for Adley Rutschman. He's normally as good, if not better, batting right-handed. Well, he's not struggling this year right-handed.
No.
He could end up being a 900 to 950 OPS catcher. And that is not only rare, that never happens. That's like Mike Piazza.
Yeah.
So,
right.
but with elite defense. So
Yep.
it wouldn't surprise me if he was behind only Otani and Judge and War in the AL this year. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
I love it. I'm here for that also. Now, one last player question for you. Is Luis Ariz going to hit 400 this year?
I think he's the only player in baseball that could do it.
I say that jokingly because it's 18 games, but the dude's hitting 455.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
You could have kept him in fantasy.
I could have, instead I have Jeff Ratface McNeil, who sucks right now. But I'm going to go. I'm not even taking that back. I don't like him. I'm going with Luis Ariz. Luis Ariz is not going to hit 400, but the guy is awesome. I love Luis Ariz. And he's finding some more power. Hit for the first cycle in Marlins history this year. That's crazy, right? I would have figured someone would have done it, like Stanton. But Luis Ariz is a stud, and I think Pablo Lopez also just got extended. So that's a win-win trade as of right now, which is great for both teams. I don't think he'll hit 400 because I don't think that's ever going to happen again unless there's some severe rule changes of like moving the mound back. Like,
I mean, the shift change could lead.
It's just like, but you know that like a 10-game slump is going to happen at some point.
Right, you're right. And in the NL East where you're playing the Phillies a lot, the Mets a lot, the Braves a lot, like that's going to happen. Okay.
But also, like, hold on, one more thing. Listen to what you're saying though. You're saying he's been insane in a 14-game stretch and he's batting 455. That's being red hot. He has to only be 55 points lower.
I was sort of saying
red hot in
100
more games. I do think he would be the only one that would even get close, but I just don't. It's so tough. I don't know how. I mean, Ted Williams is facing plumbers, so that's how he did it. But I don't know how Tony Gwynn got close.
You got to stop with that shit. You got to absolutely fucking stop with that shit.
That's true.
Welcome to the big leagues, Logan O'Hoppe, by the way.
He's really good. Really good.
I think he's hitting 9th for the Angels.
The guy can't field or catch or throw.
No.
But the dude hits the shit out of the ball. As long as he gets that 5 games you need for him to be eligible at catcher, he's a really good fantasy pickup. But the guy's a stud. He's so young too. I think he was a lot of people's dark horse rookie of the year candidate. I just don't think he's gonna catch well enough to be able to do that. But he's really good. Like, he's leading their team in home runs, I think. Or maybe he's behind Trout, but he's up there.
He's right there. Yeah. Man,
that team's playing some decent baseball right now. Trout and Otani both look really good. But yeah, he's a really good piece for them.
Otani gonna win the MVP again this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he has a .86 ERA, bro.
Dude, the guy is getting better at everything. How? I don't understand. Like, someone needs to test him for like being being from a different planet. Honestly, like, this guy's not a human being.
No,
what's he doing right now?
Not normal.
0.9 whip, Dad.
I know. Like, I wonder what. Hey, look at it. What is his WAR already?
Let me get the baseball.
Which is always weird, and I never understand. It always feels like it should be twice as high than what it is.
Yeah, they come. Well, here's the problem. Like, there's no Otanis to compare him with.
That's it.
In terms of like.
Well, there is, babe. What is it?
Guess.
One already.
He's averaging over 1 wins above replacement a game. No, over 0.1 wins above replacement a game. 1.6.
I'm telling you. Hey, we're gonna get to see him. We're going to Houston to see him for 2 games.
He has more wins above replacement than Paul DeJong has had the last 2 years in 14 games.
And he has 3 times more than Jordan Hicks in his entire career.
Daddy has an 883 OPS and he has a 0.9 whip.
I know. And a .86 ERA? Yeah.
Dude, he's going to win the Cy Young.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this because I know we're getting close to the power rankings and everything else. But this is something I kind of want to put on the back burner to talk. I'd love to have somebody else, like a national person, to come on and talk about this too a little bit. Like, if you're the Angels, who are playing pretty good baseball right now? I mean, they have a shot to compete for a no doubt a postseason bid this year.
If they're willing to go and make moves at the deadline, I agree.
Correct. Now, Anthony Rendon made like 3 errors today. However, but my question is, like, is your plan have to be as an organization that we're just going to go for it this year and then just do all we can to re-sign him. Because you can't, first of all, you can't trade him because there's no team that can give you the value back of what you would want for an Otani. Like it's impossible.
It's just
Nobody
like, it's
can do
just
it.
for the thing that's tough with that. And this is why I don't think he'll be traded. It's because rightfully the Angels are not just trading away Otani, the player, which they are. And even if they're out of it, I get that it's like, do that, obviously. They're trading away any chance of them ever resigning him.
Yes.
And if you're another team trying to trade for him, you're trading for an ace and a hitter. We know that. An ace and a 2-hole hitter. But you're only trading for him for a couple months. So no matter what, you're not trading away, let's just say a Jordan Walker or a Corbin Carroll type prospect for one run at a World Series. And if you lose, what was it for? Like you just lost 6 years of control of a potential superstar for half a season. But on the flip side of that, whoever gets him, if they trade him, is now getting the inside track to sign him.
Right.
So like it's a wild situation. And I think at the end of the day, I don't see how either side could ever meet eye to eye on what to give up. Because it's just unprecedented. You don't know what to give up. And like the Cardinals, yes, Troy Otani would fix so many problems for the Cardinals. So many, it's crazy. But at the same time, am I trading Jordan Walker for him? Am I trading Mason? No, I'm not trading those guys for a rental. So It's just a tough situation.
Yeah, it is. It's so wild to think about it. And also, like you said, not only you're trading the player, but you're also trading what you could potentially say is the largest international superstar that the sporting world has ever seen. I'm talking about the big three sports. All right. Like somebody will come at me with Wayne Gretzky's not from the US. Like I get it, but hockey is a Canadian sport. I'm not talking about
It's also
that.
not true.
I mean, the only two guys I can think of that are close, right, are Yao Ming in the NBA and Ichiro. Like that's it. But Otani to me is at another like even more so than those guys.
Yeah, he's a guy that came over here, lost a ton of money because he wanted to come here and prove himself earlier than he could have. From Japan, which we've seen how awesome Japan is. We talked about that a lot when it comes to baseball. Came over here, and now he's getting compared to Babe Ruth, an American legend. Like that's what he is. No one else did that. Ichiro was amazing and an icon in Japan and will probably always be the biggest because he was the first big one, right, to come out of Japan. But he's not doing things that are unprecedented. Well, that's not true. He won MVP in his rookie year. But but so those two, I guess, are the most comparable. And obviously Yao Ming being a basketball Hall of Famer. But I don't know, man. He's crazy. He's so much fun to watch. And if I'm the Angels and I'm even close, even if I'm 5 games out of a playoff spot, you got to give it one more push with Trout and Otani.
Absolutely.
You have to.
100%.
Especially since they haven't really given a push before. Like, let's be honest, they've always been like by the deadline, they're out. They're not doing anything. So I just hope they hover around enough. Maybe Rendon gets it going a little bit. For fuck's sake, that guy. He's too worried about slapping fans. Like, play baseball the right way, please. But if those guys can figure it out, Jared Walsh maybe gets going. Something happens to figure it out. I just want to see them.
Well, Joe Adell has like 5 home runs at AAA or something like that, I think.
He's the biggest catfish baseball player of all time.
There's your quadruple A player right there.
Seriously, Joe Adell.
Hopefully he figures it out, though. I say that.
Won't.
I hope I know. Well, okay.
I've seen him hit balls over the fence trying to catch him more than I've seen him hit it over the fence.
Couple shout outs from around Major League Baseball. Austin Riley hits his 100th career home run. 24?
He's a freak. And one of his seasons was 2020 when it was 60 games.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You
so
start Twitter beef with his fans, so that's all that we all need to know about this.
I'll stand by.
But also,
no one did it faster.
Bo Bichette, I mean, this is, I think, one that went underneath the radar for a lot of people. Bo Bichette has 500 hits in the major leagues. Like, that's a guy that you look at, could get 3,000 hits legitimately.
He doesn't walk. He doesn't walk.
No.
Here's the thing that's interesting to me about 3,000 hits. Everybody who's ever hit 3,000 hits, sans Pete Rose and steroids. Okay, they're in the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
So in an age where walking is basically valued as much as a single, because it kind of is in terms of like what you look at on the stat sheet. Do you think 3,000 hits is going to mean less? Because people are going to say, are they going to start combining your hits and walks and equaling it to 4,000 and saying that's what it
I think 3,000 hits will mean more. Like, honestly.
More? Really, though? Because like, if, say, Bo Bichette, who is an incredible talent, obviously, but he's like a 300 hitter that has a 320 OPP. That's like what he is. That's not as valuable as someone who bats 370. And I mean, who bats like
3,000 hits is 3,000 hits,
who
bro.
bats like, but what I'm saying is like who bats like 280, but has a 370 OBP. That's more valuable than a guy batting 20 points higher, OBPing 50 points lower. We can agree with that, right? So my question to you is, with the new thinking, this new wave of on base percentage becoming king since Billy Beane did it in Moneyball, is the 3,000 hits thing going to be outdated at any point in time?
I don't think so, bro. If you get 3,000 hits,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Elite. Yeah.
I'm just asking you, like, is it more impressive to have 3,000 hits? And I'm making up numbers here because I don't know how many a normal
I don't like these questions.
would be. But I'm saying if you had 3,000 hits and let's say 500 walks, this is made up. I don't know if that's even realistic. So is that more impressive than 2,800 hits and 1,000 walks?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, the end numbers aren't going to be. I'm just going to tell you that number to me still the 3,000 and the 500. So like 300 wins you can throw out. That's not. I don't know that we're going to see another guy get 300 wins.
We could,
dude. In the 5-man rotation, it's really
isn't Verlander going to do
it? Yeah. Okay. I'm talking about once you get rid of the old guard. Like we're talking about Waino getting to 200.
But I'm saying like Verlander's been in a 5-man rotation his whole career, so that's what I'm trying to say. But
that's fair.
The thing that's craziest to me about 3,000 hits, and we can get it. I don't know how we got onto this, but I just want to bring this up real quick. Jose Altuve is a guy we think about just being a hitter, right? He's going to get a lot of hits. He's played 12 years. He doesn't even have 2,000 hits yet. Like that guy's not going to get to 3,000. Oh, he might actually. He might.
He could. But I'm saying
he's going to get to 2,000 this year. But it's crazy to me.
We really just stepped all over Bo Bichette, but that's all right.
He's awesome.
My point. Yeah, 500 hits at his age. That's something that I think was under the radar, maybe a little bit. Shouldn't have been. Okay. 2 things, Major League Baseball, and then I want your power rankings so we can get out of here.
Yeah.
What baseball has created a problem with the time clock, with the pitch clock. We love it. We're all about it. However, Major League Baseball franchises are losing millions upon millions of dollars by missing out on beer sales. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a time where you sold beer through the 9th inning. And then all of a sudden, people got pissed off and said, oh, we need to scale back to the 7th. As if housing 18 beers in 7 innings, if you wait that next 25 minutes, you're going to all of a sudden be sober. I know the Cardinals have said they're not going to go to the 8th. Others have. Yes. To me, that's just optics. What are we doing here? Like, let's go ahead. First of all, it's America, right? Like, I'm not going to get political here, but let me make my own choice as far as when I drink a beer. You can serve it to me. Let me make those decisions. If you think you're over serving me, then we have another problem. I can go to the bar next door and drink for 9 innings.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Like I'm anti to being told what to do, just in general.
Same. But so am I.
Here's my thing. Like I can go over and drive to St. Louis during Cardinal game and go to the Oyster Bar and drink as many beers as I want through and after the game, and then drive home immediately.
Yes.
But the car, that's just optics. It's optics. That's all that is. Yep. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but here's my thing. How many times do people in the 7th inning, when that happens, go buy 2 beers or 2 people go buy 4 beers, and now they're drinking the beer through the 9th inning? Like, so to me, it's just so stupid, so dumb.
I agree.
And here's the thing: like these games are going really quick. Like, are you going to sober up if it's 10 minutes? If the 2 innings take 15 minutes?
That's my point.
Like, no, that's my point. You're not. So I get the idea of it. I get wanting to keep your fans safe, but for any of you that think that the owner is doing this to keep the fans safe, you're not. No, he's doing it so people think he's doing it to keep the fans safe.
Bingo! It's all optics. So let's go ahead and quit playing the little pissing game here.
I did appreciate Matt Strom's perspective, though. I did appreciate Matt Strom's perspective on it.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that he came out and said it because I have no problem with that perspective. I disagree with it personally because I think you can go to a bar and leave whenever you want. They don't hold you hostage for 30 minutes to make sure you're fine. You can leave whenever you want to go. I do get it, and I get that he has family coming to the games, and they have to drive home from the games. So for him, it's different, right? Like every day, he probably has family at most games. So I understand and I respect his perspective. I just don't agree with it.
I agreed with that. You said it exactly perfectly. All right. Other pitch clock problem, but also we have a Major League Baseball umpire problem. Cody Bellinger goes back to fucking LA. He gets a standing ovation, which the man deserved, right?
Yeah.
Man deserved that. As soon as he steps out to acknowledge the fans, he steps in, and the jackass, I mean, I could use a lot stronger language for this motherfucker. Calls a strike on him immediately, as if almost like the peacock. Like, yeah, you did that. That's cool. But look what I can do to you. And that's what we have a problem with. Like, at some point, common sense and humanity. We've talked about it on here before with the curtain calls. That was the most ludicrous thing I have seen in years.
Yeah, it's just
I'm hard. I don't even know how to say that with all the umpire problems.
I mean,
that was absurd.
Yeah, the umpiring has been so bad this year. I don't even want to talk about that. They've cost the Cardinals almost every game Cardinals have played. I'll go off this briefly. They've added a run, like the whole thing, like +1 runs added, whatever, to the other team in every game. The Cardinals have not gotten a break in any game. It's
bro.
Maybe it is. No, people don't like
that.
But anyway, yeah, it's horrible. And the thing is, like, there is discretion. Like, they've said that you can use discretion to give people more time. They do it. They did today when the other day when Burleson fouled the ball off his leg. They did it when Contreras fouled the ball off his leg. Why the hell did you not just say, all right, let's just wait, hold the pitch clock for 30 seconds, and then we'll start it up? That, like, what the fuck? Like, why do you care? And I guarantee the MLB was looking at that like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, shit, he did it. He gave him the strike. I guarantee it. Shout out to Bellinger.
Who was it? Do you know? I don't even know the guy's name.
I don't know, and I don't want to call him out. But
he should be reprimanded immediately.
He should just be told not to do that ever again. But shout out to Cody Bellinger for not arguing and taking it like a pro. Like, I would have understood if he lost his shit, but he handled it like, well, honestly, like Cody Bellinger is. Like, here's the thing: Cody Bellinger is an MVP. He's playing really well right now. He's also a World Series champion. He's beloved there. Like, he was their guy. He was a Rookie of the Year too. He set the NL Rookie of the Year home run record before Pete Alonso broke it a few years later. The guy did so much for that city. Let them enjoy him. Like, come on. The guy's been through enough without you giving him a
couldn't believe I was
He's been through so much the last 3 years without you giving him a strike for enjoying his one moment. Give the guy a break, please. He's a Cub.
I could not.
Give the guy a break.
I just couldn't believe what I was watching. All right.
Side note. How crazy is it that he robbed Jason Hayward? Imagine if I would have told you that Cody Bellinger robbed Jason Hayward and it was a Dodgers versus Cubs game, but they were playing on different teams.
Yes,
that was cool. And then the fans booed him, which I thought was funny because it was a fun thing.
Let's get to the power rankings so we can get out of here. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of baseball coming up. We're going to try and do a couple more podcasts this week. Try to get in a rhythm there that we can start doing some more.
Talk about a series win against the Diamondbacks.
Let's do that. All right, let's start here. Well, we were going to try to go back to it's too much because here's what's going to happen. You're going to come up with your power rankings, and I'm going to come up with mine, and we're going to talk about them. And all you're going to do is convince me to go with yours. So why not just go ahead and have you do yours this week?
You're being dishonest. You're being dishonest. You didn't want to do it.
And then I will do mine next week.
You didn't want to do it.
It's much better that way.
You didn't want to do it this week. That's why. Okay, we'll just go. Okay.
No.
Number 10. No, this was hard to do. I don't like this list even a little bit. Like, I don't even think this is right. And I did this myself because there are teams on here that are way better than that aren't on here that are way better than like the third best team on here. So
I got you, but we got to go with it.
This is going to be wrong in a week. I'm saying it now. Please don't come at me, but I have to do it this way. Number 10, I've got the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Playing really well, 10-7, just beat the Cardinals. Won a series against the Dodgers. I think they're playing really good baseball. They played well against the Padres. Corbin Carroll's a stud. That dude's really good. Like, they got a discount on him, I think. He might be a 30-30, 40-40 guy at some point in time. Dude's a stud. So they're my number 10 team.
Zach Gallen, front runner for the Cy Young Award.
Really good. After his first couple of tough starts, he's been really good. Number 9, I've got the Guardians.
All right. D will be happy. Shout out to D.
Yeah, he will. They're playing Cleveland Guardian baseball. It's painfully boring. No, I'm just kidding. Not really, but they need Tristan McKenzie back, and I really think then they'll like really be a team you look at like this is definitely a top 10 team. But right now their rotation seems a little bit thin, I think, but they'll be fine. Number 8, I got the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are not playing well, and we haven't talked about this. They are number 8 because they're 10-7, and fuck it, I just don't know. Everyone that's 10-7 has to be on the list. Alek Manoah, I'm worried. He looks really
2 good
bad.
starts, 2 bad starts.
He's had 0 good starts. He's had some starts where he didn't get around, but his stuff last year profiled to progress significantly in his results. His FIP was way higher than his ERA. Normally not a good thing. He's getting hit really hard and not striking many people out.
Yeah. To be fair, can I be fair? I watched that game on Sunday. He should have been out of it 3 times. 2 terrible calls by the umpire and 1 ball that should have been caught. He would have gotten through that game and only given up 2 runs.
Whip, Dad. He has a 2 whip.
I know.
He's a 2-whip and a minus 0.4 ERA. I mean, WAR, sorry, and a 6.9 ERA. I don't care
My
if he had a
apologies.
couple
Only
bad
really
luck.
one good start. My apologies.
He's been horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like,
Glad I drafted him.
he just doesn't look like the same Manoa, but hopefully he figures it out because I like him. Let's go to number 7. Oh God, it's so gross. This list is disgusting. I want to puke. Number 7 is the Texas Rangers. I don't know. They're gonna suck in a couple weeks. They don't. DeGrom's hurt. They don't have.
We'll be
any
there in a
outfielders.
month.
They have Adolis Garcia in the outfield, and I don't even know who else. It's wild to me that they are even. They just beat the Astros, so I had to put them on here. The Astros aren't on my list, and it makes me want to cry because they should be number 1.
We're gonna go get to see the new stadium when they play the Cardinals.
Have you talked to when you let's talk about that after this. Anyway, let's go to number 6.
But yes,
the
I have.
Yankees,
It's all taken care of.
Okay, the Yankees are 10-6. I don't know how they're winning games without Rodon, Severino, and they're starting Johnny Brito, who just gave up like 10 runs in 1 inning. I don't know. It's like it's such a small sample. Yankees are going to be good. They're going to be on this list probably the whole year. I just don't think they're elite like some people do.
Garrett Cole shoved yesterday.
Garrett Cole's very good. He might win the Cy Young this year. 5.
Hey, hold on 1 second.
With,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I give you a stat that I did not know? He's now 98th or 97th all time in strikeouts.
It's crazy. He's going to be the Hall
And
of Fame.
that, I mean, and he's only.
I think all he's really got to do. Yeah, I think all he's really got to do is win a Cy Young, and then he's going to be cemented in there.
Passed Whitey Ford yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy. Whitey Ford. Well, 5th, I'm going to go with the New York Mets, 10-6. I'll be honest with you. The Mets are 10-6, and it just feels like they're not that good.
I know.
I know. They are. I think they assembled the worst possible $350 million team ever. Like, you're going to be good if you have that much money tied into a team, but I don't think they could have done it worse.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is that fair? Their offense is garbage.
Yeah, probably.
I've been saying this. Their offense.
Alonso's very good.
He's amazing. Pete Alonso's amazing.
Joey Marte has been very, very good.
Very good. All 3 of those are very good. Then
I only named 2.
I named Lindor. Lindor's amazing.
Okay.
He's awesome.
All right.
But other than those 3, like, who you got, man? You got Mark Canha.
Yeah, Brandon Nimmo.
Okay, the most overpaid player in baseball history.
Face McNeil, your boy.
McNeil's he's a commentator not hitting for contact, and the shift went away. Please explain it to me. I'm moving on. For the Twins look really, really good. They're 10-6. Their 10-6 looks way better than the Mets 10-6. Can we agree on that? Like the Twins just went in there, man. They split the series with New York, won the first 2, but in a place where they've really struggled historically in New York. They're not good in New York. Correa showed out, Buxton showed out, and Edward Julian is a stud. I'm so glad they called that guy up. He's a Canadian, which I like. But he's a second baseman. He's a stud. This is cool, Dad. Hit his first big league hit and first big league homer in the same inning, and they were different hits.
How crazy is that? And Pablo Lopez looks very good for them.
Looks really good. Just extended him, which is great.
Yeah.
I really like the Twins this year. It kind of surprised me how much I like their team. I don't think I knew it without looking at it. I think they're going to be really good. And hopefully Royce Lewis comes back and plays a factor at some point.
Yep.
3, I've got the Brewers. They're not Cardinal fans. They're not going to be this good. Someone clip this. They're not going to be this good. They are getting massive contributions, and I'm not taking away from them. Joey Waymer looks really good. Garrett Mitchell and Bryce Turang both also look really good. It was great for them. It's not going to continue. Brendan Woodruff's hurt now. I don't know. They're winning games barely. They're like getting lucky, it seems. They're not this good. They're going to
1-0 yesterday.
Devin
1-0 against the Padres.
Frank Grisham took a fastball down the middle on 3-2 with the bases loaded to tie it. They would have tied it. I know. Devin's nasty though, so good for him. 2, we'll go with the Braves, 12-4. Really, I mean, they'd be at number 1 if the first team didn't have the best start of all time. But the Braves, man, this might be the best iteration of this Braves team we've ever seen. I think if Spencer Strider, Max Fried, and Kyle Wright are healthy, it's going to be way and far better than the World Series team because they have Acuna and he looks like he's fully back, which is awesome.
And Albies.
Austin Riley is just a beast. Albies has 3 jacks already. Matt Olson's been there a year longer now. He's getting comfortable. Sean Murphy looks good. They still have Travis d'Arnaud. If they get a left fielder, the league's finished because Marcell Ozuna is the worst hitter on the planet. But
yeah, he's bad.
And he's also one of the worst people in
baseball. Vaughn Grissom back up, by the way.
That guy's such dude. If he hits,
I know.
If that guy becomes what his talent says he can be, it's just going to be unfair. Number one, we got the Rays, 14-3. Been struggling a little bit lately. Started out 13-0. I'll give them some grace on losing 3 of 4. They look really good, man. I mean, it sucks that Jeffrey Springs got hurt. It really sucks that Tyler Glasnow's on the shelf. But Brandon Lau looks like he's back, which is awesome because I'm a big Brandon Lau fan. Wander Franco looks like this might be his year where he finally does what we all thought he could do when he came up. Because he might be the most hyped prospect in the last 15 years. They're just really good, man. Randy's playing really well. Yandy Diaz is the most underrated player in all of baseball. The guy just has a 400 OBP every single year. No one talks about him. He's a beast.
Brady's
They're just playing Tampa Bay Rays baseball.
Yeah.
They're getting great efforts from their starters. They're getting great relief pitching. And they're getting hitters that just fly under the radar and do their job and hit a lot of home.
Well, Jeffrey Springs, good news. It looked like not nearly as bad as what they were initially
Thank God, dude.
feared.
He's so good.
So I think he's gonna be okay.
Zach Eflin's hurt. That team has some really shit luck. Like they always have a lot of injuries for some reason. I don't know if it's because they make them spin the shit out of the ball to be good. I don't know if that's why. But Drew Rasmussen, what a find that guy's been. They just find these guys and make them great. I don't know what it is about that organization. Fairbanks.
Just that might be the first power rankings we've ever assembled that did not include the Dodgers, Astros, or Cardinals.
Or Phillies.
Or Padres. Or Phillies.
Yeah. I'm mad at the Padres. You know who I'm mad at? We're going one more rant and then we need to get out of here. Juan Soto, swing the fucking bat once in a while, buddy.
Yeah.
You're there to do damage. And then he comes out like he's taking a fastball down the middle and then acts like we're supposed to be happy that he took a 6-pitch walk. Maybe hit the fastball down the middle, Juan. You're not there to walk. You're not. It's frustrating because he's so fucking good. I want to see him hit bombs. I don't want to see him walk every at bat. And I get that's crazy to say, but it's just frustrating to me. But here's my biggest problem. He just came out and said that 2019 Nationals team was more fun than this team, than the Padres he's on right now, because no one was looking for contracts. Juan, buddy, you're the only one looking for a contract. Everyone else is signed. What the hell are you talking about? It's you and Blake
Another
Snell.
Guy, by the way, who has a shot to get 3,000 hits if he swings the bat.
He's awesome, dude. He's so good. He's going to be one of those guys I'm talking about where you're like his walks plus hits are 16,000, but he only has 2,000 hits. Right. But, man, he's so good, and he's such a fun talent, but, God, I don't want to watch him walk every at-bat, especially when your team's not scoring runs. You got to drive him some runs, Juan.
A lot going on. On.
He's so good.
The Cardinals aren't in the power rankings. The Dodgers, the Astros, the Padres, and the Phillies.
I couldn't sneak the Cardinals.
Or the Mariners. That's like our like love child.
Could you imagine me leaving the Astros off at 8 and 9 and putting the Cardinals in at 7 and 10?
Oh no. I'm glad you didn't do that. All right.
Yeah. No.
Let's get out of here. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Look, first of all, hopefully Cardinals, you got 2 more nights to go see them. Those of you in the St. Louis area. You got 2 more nights, Arizona at home. It's Wednesday a day game. I don't know if it might be since we're heading to Seattle. That might be a day game.
I would assume it is.
Yeah. If you have the MLB package, I've been watching a lot of minor league baseball. I told you I've watched Libby twice. I watched some Springfield baseball the other day. And then I've been watching the Mariners because I get home late when I work. So didn't get to see the Cardinals tonight, but that's whatever. Anyway, get out, watch some baseball. Hopefully the weather is, I don't know what the weather's like up there. It's been gorgeous here. Cold. So hopefully the weather up there is nice.
45 degrees today.
It sucks.
Let's get out of here.
80. It was 80.
I want to talk about the weather. 37 right
All right, everybody.
Let's get out of here.
Again, hit the subscribe button and help us out. Follow us on all our socials. We'd love to hear from you. We will have the mailbag next time. I promise. I will make sure that it happens.
He's lying.
It's going to happen. Everybody have an amazing rest of your week. We'll talk to you in the next couple of days. And hopefully the Cardinals can get back on the path. So go Cards.